Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing good. This is Dr. Sandeep Sharma here. I've done my MD Pediatrics from PGI Chandigarh, so I am a pediatrician by profession, but also a teacher and a storyteller by heart. So the NEET-PG exams came out just a few days back, and I got a message from a student called Dr. Vibhur. The name is changed obviously. So Dr. Vibhur has done his MBBS from a top college in Delhi, and he has been a topper throughout. But he failed to perform well in the recent exam. Vibhur sounded quite frustrated and perplexed. He had been a topper, took coaching from topmost places, followed standard books, but despite best efforts he couldn't make it. He was quite frustrated obviously because of this, and he was even contemplating quitting giving the exams. At that moment I realized that Vibhur is not alone. We all at some points in our lives end up in a situation where we try really hard, but the things, they just don't seem to work out the way we want them to. And it's not a phenomena of 21st century. If you look into ancient times, there have been anecdotes where people have been, perplexed. Despite working hard, they haven't really performed well. So let's move backwards and talk about a past anecdote. Once upon a time, there was a sage, a rishi. His name was Udalak. So if you try to Google his name, you'll find that his teachings are a part of the ancient Upanishads. There is a Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and there is a Chandogya Upanishad. So Rishi Udalak was a Vedic teacher, and he had a lot of students studying varied schools of Vedanta under him, the typical Gurukul of ancient times, So just like we have mid-semester exams, the Rishi also used to test his students. So one day, Udalak announced an exam on the mantras that he had taught. So one of his students, a very bright student, he got excited and he prepared really hard and took the exam with great excitement. But he floundered in the exam. He was unable to recall most of the verses which he was asked for. And it was really heartbreaking for that student. Now, there are three types of heartbreak. One heartbreak happens when our national cricket team loses on the last ball. Second is the heartbreak we all experience at some point in our lives, and I don't think we need to discuss it here, right? It's something we all have experienced. And the third and worst heartbreak happens when you are really looking forward to excelling in something, and despite your best efforts, you perform poorly in that. So this student also, he got exasperated and asked his teacher, "What do I do? What more do I do? Why do I fail despite working so hard?" The Rishi smiled. He made him sit down and he said something which I'll be explaining in a simplified manner. So the Rishi asked him a question. "Let me first ask you, did you know what was expected of you and did you give your best shot? Because if your answer is no, you know where your fault lies." Most of the students who take an exam, they fail because they know what is to be done. But knowing something is not enough. Implementing that knowledge, practicing that knowledge is way more important. We all know what is to be done, but we don't do it. Knowledge of something and executing something are two entirely different things. So whenever you fail, ask yourself honestly, did I do what was needed? Did I remember the hymns I was supposed to? Did I remember those tables I was supposed to? Did I understand the meaning of what I remembered? It's a personality trait of certain people that we have a tendency to, postpone things, and we know that a certain thing is to be done, but we just don't do it, thinking we'll do it later, and when the time comes, we have the knowledge, but we haven't really practiced it. Fortunately, it's a correctable thing. So ask this question to yourself, and if you haven't really, executed your plans, you know where the defect is. It's a doable thing. The problem really arises when you do everything right and still fail. And trust me, it happens with the best of people, and it will happen till life is. We need to understand that there are factors beyond our control. Someday we'll not be in the best of frame of mind. Someday, someone else will perform better than you. Someday, you'll simply have a stroke of bad luck. Now, you can't really change your luck, right? But you can take solace, see it from the prism, the concept of cyclical nature of things. So the student was confused. He asked, "What's cyclical nature of things?" Yes, the Rishi replied to him, "Everything in this world, there is a component of cyclicity involved. This world is called as samsara." What is the meaning of samsara? Samsara basically refers to a cycle of birth and death. Even seasons move in cycles. There are summers, there are monsoons, there are winters, and then you have again, the same cycle moving around. Our life, our luck also sometimes moves in cycles. There will be peaks and there will be really low times. So if you have done everything well and still you haven't succeeded at something, when you are at your lowest point, sometimes all you need to do is simply hang on. Don't be desperate and leave the race. Just hang on and the time will pass. The night is always darkest just before the dawn. When we see winners, we only see their success. We fail to notice that they had their own shares of low times, but they didn't give up. So just hang on and keep doing whatever is needed. Because it's a cycle. The state of things will change. The tide will turn, and when the tide will turn, your time will also come. You should be ready to succeed at that point. And then, obviously, there will be a time you will succeed. And you will feel on the top of the world. You will feel like a celebrity. You should feel happy then. Obviously, you should feel proud. You should celebrate. But at that point, you need to acknowledge the cyclical nature of things. Because nobody stays at the top at all the time. It's a cycle. Knowledge of this cyclical nature of things, it keeps you grounded when you are at a high. And it keeps you hopeful when you are at your low. The pupil smiled. He understood. What that pupil later did in his life and what his deeds were, we shall discuss some other day. But if you're someone like that pupil or someone like Vibhur, and you haven't really done well in any exam, ask the same question to yourself. Was it your best shot? If it wasn't, you need to plug your gaps, implement, practice your test papers. Knowing a particular topic that, questions are going to come from it, that is not enough. You need to practice MCQs, questions from that. You need to clear your concepts, implement it. And still, if you have done everything well and things go wrong, don't leave the battlefield. End of the day, all you need is one rank, one success in one exam. It will come. It will eventually come if you have been working hard. Just keep working hard and be patient. Life sometimes tests your patience. Remember the cyclical nature of things. The cycle will turn. You should be ready with your preparation. Lady Luck will smile. The key is not to give up. I hope you get the message of ticking the boxes, implementing the things, and not giving up, just hanging on, doing what is right before the tide turns. And trust me, it will. So we'll meet again next time with some more nuggets, with some more pearls of wisdom. This is me, Dr. Sandeep Sharma, signing off. Thank you.